going on, guys? Junior's Fishing Company with another walleye jig today. So I hadn't really tied a craft fur jig yet this winter, and so I thought today would be the day, a good day to do that. So it's going to be, craft fur it's not a super difficult material to use. It can be a little tricky to get the proportions right. If you want, like today I'm going to tie something pretty thin, and so you got to be just really careful with how much material you're using on, if you want it small, if you want it really thick, if you want it longer. Craft fur always ends up fishing a little bit longer than what it's going to look like in the vise, because when those fibers straighten out, it always ends up longer than you think it's gonna, in my opinion. And so I've just got two colors here. It's going to be kind of an off gray shad pattern, and so I've got just some light gray, almost like a, I don't know why I'm thinking snowy gray, snow's white, but just a really light gray, and then a dark gray. This is going to be the top. I'm going to have just this light gray on the bottom. A little bit of flash. I've got just larva lace. I'll show you this first one I tied at the end. I put a little larva lace in. I used a dubbing loop to put that in. I'm not going to do that with this one just because I thought it was probably a little more complicated than it needed to be. I've got a 1/4 inch gold spawn fly fish tungsten bead here. This hook is a Fulling Mill 5130. This is a size 6. I've got size 8s too. This is a really nice hook. This would maybe be my favorite walleye jig hook if it had a barb on it. These are barbless. I just prefer a barb just for that little added security of when you're playing the fish, but it's a really, really long shank jig. Really, really cool hook. I'm going to end up adding some gills to this with some red 4B hen. You could use marabou or whatever too, but I'm just going to put a little bit of gill on there too. So again, this material can be a little tricky when you're trying to figure out the bulk of the bait that you want. I want this to be thin, so I've actually weighed out all of my stacks. I've got 4 total stacks. I'm going to do light dark, and these first ones I'm going to put in are longer, but it's about 0.09 grams, right around there. 0.08 is the first one I tied was 0.07, and then 0.1 up at the bead, and I'm going to do 0.09 and then like 0.11, 0.12 right up at the front. Might sound nitpicky, but in terms of making a bait how you want it, it's important to know all of that, those little details. I'm going to end up trimming quite a bit of this off. I don't want this to be too big of a bait. I've got 140 white here in UTC. I'm just going to come right there. This is the bottom of my bait, and I want this, pretty much both of them, to stay on the bottom. I'm going to end up pushing this one a little bit more on the sides. I really don't think it matters which one you put down first. I'll just kind of push that on the sides, and then that gray can kind of veil over it. So if I do put a little bit too much on here on the sides, I'm going to end up putting this gray on, this darker gray. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to measure this out to be about the same length. This craft fur stuff is like marabou. It gets so thin when you end up getting this bait wet. It gets so thin, which is fine, but you want to make sure you know that when you're putting this stuff on. So I'm going to put this on the bottom. I've got my little stack here, and what I'm going to do, it's kind of already separated nicely for me. I'm going to separate this. It doesn't have to be, this isn't like the be all end all right here. You can end up getting a bodkin and splitting them, But just to make it a little bit easier, I'm going to make a little V. And then I'm going to come down here. And I can just rest that right on where I want it. I want it a little bit back. Do a loose wrap just to catch all that stuff. And I'm just going to do a couple loose wraps and make sure that these are going to connect. I'm putting more over this stuff anyway, so if you don't do this one perfectly, it really isn't going to matter at all. And if you're really worried about that 50-50 split, you don't really need to be. I'm going to put some gills on here. It's not really going to reach that far back, but you do what you got to do. So I'll just kind of get this wrapped down. Then I'll just come up to my bead. Make sure that stuff's not going to go anywhere. Just build up a little bit of thread here, and I can grab my other 2 stacks. And it doesn't matter which one you do. I just laid these out in a certain way. So I've got my light gray again, and I'll come here, and this is going to be shorter. Not a lot shorter though. If I do a way shorter, like a third of my length of bait, this is going to end up being super thin, and so I don't want it to be thick, pencil thin or razor thin. So I'm just going to go a little bit shorter, just a tiny bit. Then I can come trim off whatever I don't need. I don't want this bait to be too thin. The one I'll show you at the end was pretty darn thin, but I do like it. Especially for the way I'm going to be fishing it, I do kind of like that small profile. And if you see a lot of those minnows, some of them are just crazy thin. So I'll get that pushed right on top. Just 2 little wraps. You can come in here. This stuff loves to tangle up. So I can just get a little comb, separate that out. It's a little bit trickier than pushing deer hair. Deer hair just doesn't stick together like this stuff does. I'll just tug on it a little bit just to get that kind of where I want. The longest part of this tie is probably prepping the craft fur. If I didn't prep that craft fur, this video would be a lot longer. And anyone who's watched these videos, you know I can babble pretty good, but you do not want me to babble much. My bobbin's slipping just a little bit. Tighten that back up. So I'll come up here, and I'm going to do the same thing with this dark gray. It's a little uneven. It's alright though. And I'm just going to kind of match. There's a couple really long fibers in there. The craft fur is a good length. You'd rather have a lot to trim than be hindered by how long the material is. I'll trim some of this off. And when you're doing this, if you use a lot of craft fur, do not use your fancy $60 Renomed scissors. I've got an old pair of loons here, and then I've got just some super cheap craft scissors. Do not use, this stuff, I swear, dulls your scissors pretty darn quick. So you just got to be careful with that. Do the same thing. Get a little comb. Just going to kind of comb this out. And then I'll split it 50-50-ish. Come down here. And this bait looks like it's going to be huge. But when you get this wet, it will not be. I'll cord up my thread and just do a little bit of a loose wrap. I'm missing some materials. I'll just cinch that down right on top. kind of work it. You can do 50-50. If you want to get crazy technical, just look up a picture of a shiner or something like that. It's not always just 50-50, but that's what I'm going for today. I'm going to end up getting some good wraps here. I'm putting eyes on this, and I'm going to put those gills down. But what I'm going to do really quick, because I'm crazy, I'm going to end up trimming this. I'm just going to cut some of this craft fur just to clean up the collar a little bit. Alright, so I cleaned it up just a little bit. I'm just going to take some of this larva lace, angel hair, whatever you want to use, super thin tinsel basically. And I'm just going to cut off some of those really longer ones. I do want a little bit of a taper in there. When you pull this out of the bag, there's going to be a little bit of a taper. And I'm just going to put that maybe about half, and this is all I'm going to put in right on top, just a tiny little piece. And I'll actually cut some of this off so it's a little bit easier to tie down on it. I'm just putting a tiny bit of that flash right on top. This color is, I think it's just, yeah, silver holographic. This stuff is crazy flashy. So a little bit goes a long way. And I could fold back that. But the other one I put in had a little bit more flash. I just want a tiny bit. Now I've got this big 4B hen saddle in red. I picked really long fibers just because I'm never going to necessarily use this one for legs or wings or whatever. And so this, it doesn't matter. I can cut this as much as I want. I really made sure to make it even of how much I'm going to take off. So the first one, I'll just kind of even out these tips, and I can just peel it. And they don't have to be super perfect. Just transfer that into my other hand. And I'm going to put this in a little bit long. I'm just going to put it right on the side. But if you look, I don't know if you can tell, there's a really thin and there's a thicker part. Like if you just look at it in two different angles. I'm going to put the thicker part right on the side. And if I'm not necessarily doing a 50-50 split with these colors, and so I'm just going to kind of find the halfway point here, and I'll just put that in. And I want it, you can go all the way down. This material's long enough where you could do that. I'll just get maybe 3 wraps, make sure that that's going to look good, and I'll kind of fold this back and make sure that's not going to go anywhere. And just trim it off. And with my other side, what I'm going to do, I'll take my materials off the stem. And I'm just going to measure them up with this one. A couple longer ones in there. I'm just going to measure it out with this, kind of rest my finger right there, and then I'll just rotate it over. And that should give me at least an even length for my gills. And this is a pretty detailed part. You really don't have to. I just wanted to do something a little bit different that I hadn't done before. So I'll just tie those gills in. And then I can really just whip finish, and I'll be ready for my eyes. Just get those fibers down. Make sure that that glue is going to have somewhere to stick. I'll just whip finish this off. And the eyes I'm going to use, kind of went back and forth on how big to do them. I'm going to flatten out this thread because I did build up quite a bit of a thread bump here. Just pinch, kind of flatten that out a little bit. I built up a little bit of a thread color here. I did a little too much wrapping. But I'm going to go with 5mm in ice, just living eyes in ice. I almost went with 6, but they just looked a little bit too big. The one I'll show you in just a second, the eyes are a little small, but I thought 6 would be too big. And then I realized I was overthinking it, so just push that right on the side. Try not to get too much glue on your fingers. And that gill is going to be right behind that eye. You can see how small that eye is. That's alright. 6 just again seemed a little bit too big. The tough part about these eyes is they do have that kind of shaped pupil. Some of the eyes that you buy are just circles, and these pointed pupils drive me crazy sometimes because you just want them to be perfect, but they never sometimes you get a little lucky, but the more you mess with it, the more glue you get on your fingers, the more eyes you go through because you get a big dab of glue on them. So that tinsel is going to lay down. I'm just going to put some medium resin right over the top of this. Keep the eyes where I want them. I'm not going to put a ton on here. Just enough to lay that down. Again, that tinsel's kind of sticking out a little bit still, but as soon as this bait gets wet, it'll be completely flat on that craft fur. So I'll put my last little bit right in the eyes. Cover that up. That should be good. Just for a little durability. Those eyes love to fall off. Sometimes you get lucky though and they stick pretty good. So this bait ends up being about 3 inches long. I tied this one just a little bit ago. It'll be a little hard to tell. It's still a little bit wet, so it's still a little bit thinner than what it's, I mean, when it's wet, but it's pretty thin still right now, but you can see just how thin that back half is, and that's what I tried to avoid in that one I just tied. But a really nice shad pattern. It's flat here because I had it sitting on a table, but in the water, if I got it wet again and just dripped it vertically, it wouldn't be quite as flat as that. But really cool little shad pattern, craft fur. It's one of those materials that it's just so awesome in the water, but it can be frustrating to use just because, again, prep time and stuff like that. But really cool little shad pattern, craft fur jig. These have always been killers in my opinion. So Junior's Fishing Company, like and subscribe, drop some comments below. We'll see you on the next one.